Okay, so I just kind of wanted to give my thoughts on the upcoming adaptation of the story of the Nightingale, and even how I am so happy whenever I saw this news, because this has been a film that I have been looking forward to ever since I found out that they were going to be adapting the novel by Kirsten Hannah for the big screen. And I am so happy, just so happy this movie is moving full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I am so happy and so excited that it's coming together, and that we're finally going to be able to watch the story unfold on the big screen. So it has also been announced that Dakota Fanning and Elle Fanning are set to star as the titular characters in this film. And they're two of my favorite child actresses of all time and of my generation. And I really loved Dakota Fanning's movies as a little kid. The very first film that I saw with Dakota Fanning in it was the movie Dreamer back in 2005. And I loved her acting in that film. And I also really loved the movie I Am Sam. She was brilliant in that film. If you haven't seen I Am Sam, please do go check that one out. It is such a good movie. It is such a emotional roller coaster, but really one of my favorite films of all time that came out in the 2000s. And the other thing is that I love Dakota Fanning's range in her roles over time, and how we see her grow up into this incredible actress. She's done so many different roles in a variety of different genres, and I loved her range in each of those roles, and I'm excited to see what she's going to be doing with this role in The Nightingale. And when it comes to Elle Fanning, she is one of my favorite actresses. Also, I loved Elle Fanning's films since I was a little kid. And the very first film that I saw with Elle Fanning in it was Because of Winn-Dixie. And that movie has always been such a comfort movie of mine. I loved that film for the longest time. She was also really great in Super 8, Maleficent. She was also really good in the movie Mary Shelley. And if you are familiar with the novel Frankenstein, do definitely look into that film, because it is such a good movie and even underrated one. And I am really excited to see them be a part of this film together. I am so happy that we're seeing them together on the big screen and in The Nightingale. So the novel is actually on my reading list, and I think that it sounds like such a beautiful story and a gut-wrenching one. So, in case you're wondering, the novel The Nightingale is about two sisters that live in Nazi-occupied France, where they're embarking on separate paths and dangerous paths of survival in the hopes of being reunited. And there's been various different films about this time period, and I love movies about history and stories about characters that live in different times in history. And I'm really excited to see what these characters are going to be like on the big screen, what their stories are going to be like, and even what it's going to be whenever you're watching it for the first time. There's times where we watch a film and it's emotional, but very powerful because of the acting and even because of the storytelling. One of my favorite films that came out several years ago that took place in that time period is The Zookeeper's Wife, which also stars Jessica Chastain. And that one, I loved The Zookeeper's Wife. It was really emotional, and really tugs at your heartstrings. And I loved the acting in that film. I loved the cinematography in that film. And even the trailers that came out for it. And so with The Nightingale, I am honestly excited to see this story of two sisters, and even being played by Dakota and Elle Fanning. So not just that, but the director of this adaptation is going to be Michael Morris, who directed Bridget Jones 4 and the movie To Leslie. And so the screenwriter of this film is also going to be Dana Stevens, who people may recognize from the Woman King. She was on board for that film. And the rights of the novel were secured from TriStar back in 2015. And I'm honestly just so happy that this film is finally coming together, and that the release date has just been announced and confirmed for February 12th, 2027. I am so happy about this news whenever I saw it the other day. And not just that, but I can't wait to see the teaser trailer for it, and even the original, like the newer trailers whenever they come out, and even the original soundtrack for the film. I really cannot wait to see it, and I cannot wait to hear more about it whenever it's coming closer to the release date. And see y'all later, Gators.